The mechanic had already locked up the garage for the night when he heard a small, shaky voice behind him. "Mister, can you help me?" He turned to see a little girl sitting on the cold steps of the old apartment building next door. She looked pale, tired, and far too weak for someone her age. When he asked where her parents were, she only smiled softly and said, "If you carry me up the stairs, I'll tell you a secret." He didn't know why those words stopped him in his tracks. Maybe it was her honesty, or the way she held her chest as if every breath hurt. Against his better judgment, he picked her up. She was light, too light, and her heartbeat felt fast against his arm. With every step upward, memories of his own rough childhood surfaced nights when no one came to help. The mechanic was just a simple man who fixed broken engines for a living, not a hero. But as they climbed, he realized this wasn't just about kindness. There was something more hidden behind her promise, something that could change both of their lives forever. And just as they reached the top floor, she leaned close to his ear, ready to reveal the secret he never expected to hear. Her voice was barely louder than a whisper as she spoke, and the mechanic had to lean in to hear her. What she said didn't sound like a child's imagination. It sounded careful, rehearsed, like words she had been carrying for a long time. He felt his grip tighten as he set her down at the dimly lit hallway, the air thick with silence and old paint. She told him her name was Lily and that she lived alone with her mother in the last apartment. Her mother worked late nights and trusted her to be strong, even on days when her body felt weak. The mechanic noticed the way Lily avoided talking about doctors, the way her eyes darted to the stairwell whenever footsteps echoed below. Something was wrong, and it wasn't just her illness. As he walked her to the door, Lily mentioned the secret again, saying it was the reason she couldn't tell anyone else. She said some secrets were heavy, even for adults, and that she chose him because he looked like someone who fixed things instead of breaking them. Those words stayed with him. Standing in that narrow hallway, the mechanic realized he was already involved, whether he wanted to be or not. And the truth waiting behind that door was far bigger than a sick little girl's promise. The door to the apartment creaked open, revealing a small space that smelled of medicine, old furniture, and something burnt from the kitchen. The mechanic hesitated at the doorway, unsure if he should step inside. Lily moved slowly, as if each step took effort, and pointed to a worn couch where she asked him to sit. The place felt quiet in a way that made him uneasy, like it had been holding its breath. She talked about her mother in bits and pieces, never finishing a full story. Late nights, missed calls, promises to come home early. The mechanic listened, noticing unopened mail stacked on the table and a phone that looked like it hadn't rung in days. He began to wonder if helping fix cars had prepared him for this kind of brokenness at all. As Lily spoke, she hinted that someone else knew about her condition, someone who didn't want questions asked. She mentioned a man who came by sometimes, always after dark, always in a hurry. The mechanic felt a knot form in his stomach. He told himself he was overthinking, but his instincts said otherwise. From Lily's point of view, this stranger was her last chance. She watched his face carefully, searching for signs of fear or doubt. If he walked away, the secret would stay buried. If he stayed, everything could change. And as sirens echoed faintly in the distance, both of them sensed that time was quietly running out. The mechanic checked his watch and realized how late it had become. Yet something inside him refused to leave. Lily's breathing had grown shallow, and every small sound in the apartment felt louder than it should. He offered to call someone for help, but she shook her head quickly, fear flashing across her face. She whispered that if the wrong person came, everything would fall apart. Moments later, heavy footsteps echoed in the stairwell outside. Lily stiffened, her small hand gripping the edge of the couch. She told him that was the man she had mentioned before, the one who asked questions but never listened to answers. The mechanic's heart began to race. He wasn't a fighter or a hero, just a working man who fixed engines and went home tired. Yet standing there, he felt responsible in a way he never had before. The knocking came again, louder this time. Lily leaned closer and began to explain the secret in broken sentences, talking about paperwork, money, and a mistake someone powerful wanted hidden. The mechanic tried to piece it together, realizing this wasn't just about a sick little girl, but about a truth buried on purpose. As the door handle slowly turned, Lily looked up at him with pleading eyes and whispered that once he heard everything, there would be no going back. And in that moment, he knew whatever lay ahead would change both of their lives forever. Before the door could open fully, the knocking stopped. Silence flooded the apartment, heavy and unsettling. The mechanic held his breath, listening as the footsteps slowly moved away, then paused right outside the door. Lily's face lost all color. She whispered that the man never left unless he got what he wanted. That was when her phone buzzed on the table. One message, no name, just an address and a short line that made the mechanic's chest tighten. "She doesn't belong to you." Lily admitted then that the secret wasn't only about money or paperwork. She told him she wasn't sick by accident. Her condition had started after tests no child should ever be part of. Tests meant to prove something valuable. The mechanic felt anger rise, mixed with fear. He realized the man downstairs wasn't just watching this apartment. He was watching him now. As if to confirm it, his own phone vibrated. A photo appeared on the screen, his garage, taken minutes ago, with the lights still on. The message underneath was clear without words. Lily looked up and said the reason she asked him for help was because he was invisible to people like that man. Or at least, he used to be. Outside, a car engine started and idled below the window. The mechanic understood then that walking away was no longer an option, and the real danger was only just beginning. The mechanic didn't think anymore. He acted. When the car outside revved louder, he quietly shut off the apartment lights and pulled Lily close, keeping his voice calm even as his hands shook. He remembered the old service elevator behind the building, broken for years but still usable if you knew how. He lifted Lily again, ignoring the pain in his arms, and slipped out through the back stairs just as the front door burst open. They reached the garage moments later. Using instincts built from years of fixing broken machines, he started an old van that hadn't run in months. As they drove, Lily finally told him everything. The tests were illegal, meant to cover up a powerful company's mistake. Her illness was proof, and the documents her mother hid could expose it all. That was why they were being watched. The mechanic drove straight to the hospital, refusing to listen when Lily begged him not to. This time, he chose help. Doctors rushed her inside, and the man following them vanished into the night. The truth was reported, and the threat began to crumble. Days later, as Lily slowly recovered, a stranger visited the garage. He thanked the mechanic for his courage and revealed the final twist. Lily's mother hadn't just hidden the truth, she had chosen him long ago, knowing only someone ordinary would do the extraordinary.